Did you know over 90,000 people left London alone last year? Not for adventure, but to escape. And it's not just the capital. Across the UK, city centres are hollowing out. High life now sit in eerie silence. Shops are shutting, pubs are boarded up, and entire neighbourhoods look like they've hit pause, or worse, rewind. So what's going on? The answer is painful but clear. The middle class is leaving. Crushed under the weight of rising rents, sky-high energy bills, and food costs that feel like robbery, families are packing up and vanishing from cities they've lived in for generations. But where exactly is this happening? That's where things get really interesting. Because not all cities are suffering equally. Some are turning into ghost towns at a shocking speed, and chances are one of them is near you. Why are these places emptying out? What happened in Britain's cities? And more importantly, what happens next? In this video, we reveal the top 10 UK cities being slowly abandoned, ranked and backed by real data, personal stories, and hard-hitting truths. Stay with us, because by the end, you might look at your own town a little differently. Number 10, Leicester. Once known for its vibrant culture, diverse community, and proud industrial heritage, Leicester is now facing a quieter, more unsettling transformation. On the surface, it might seem like Leicester is thriving. Packed markets, a bustling city centre, and a proud multicultural identity. A different story unfolds beneath the buzz. Over the past few years, thousands of middle-income families have quietly left Leicester. Why? It's a toxic mix of rising living costs, declining public services, and widening income gaps. The cost of housing has surged while wages have stagnated. According to recent data, Leicester now ranks among the top UK cities where living costs are outpacing incomes, a red flag for any middle-class household trying to stay afloat. Many families report feeling squeezed out of their own communities. Neighbourhoods once considered safe now face rising. Schools are overwhelmed and underfunded. Roads are deteriorating. Public spaces that once fostered community, like local parks and libraries, are disappearing. And then there's the money problem. Leicester City Council warned in 2023 that it could run out of funds entirely, forcing brutal cuts to core services. Garbage collection, youth centres, elderly care programmes. The city is being stripped down piece by piece. Even culturally, Leicester is feeling the shift. Local shops are shuttering. Young professionals and families, once the heart of Leicester's upward momentum, are moving away in search of stability and hope. This isn't the kind of collapse that makes headlines overnight. It's slower, more personal. It's the creeping silence of neighbours gone, playgrounds empty, and a city slowly losing its soul. Not to disaster, but to neglect. And this is number 9, Luton. Just 30 miles north of London, Luton was once a working-class powerhouse. Known for its car manufacturing routes and its busy airport, Luton promised opportunity and affordability for those priced out of the capital. But today the story is very different. Luton has become a prime example of a town where the cost of living has exploded, yet the quality of life hasn't kept pace. Housing prices have skyrocketed. Rent for a modest two-bedroom flat can rival prices in more affluent parts of the UK, yet wages remain shockingly low. Food, fuel, and council taxes have all jumped, squeezing every pound, little to spare. But it's not just about money. Luton ranks high for overcrowding, poor air quality, and public service strain. NHS services are stretched thin. Schools are oversubscribed, and many neighbourhoods report rising antisocial behaviour, making it feel unsafe, especially at night. It's no surprise then that the middle class is leaving in waves. Professionals who once saw Luton as a stepping stone now view it as a trap. Many have moved to nearby Bedfordshire villages or even further north in search of better value and peace of mind. Businesses are also taking note. Independent shops are closing down. High streets are thinning out. The town centre, once busy and vibrant, now looks tired and deserted in parts. For those still in Luton, they're asking, why are we paying London prices for a fraction of the services and none of the perks? Do you live in or near Luton? Have you moved out recently, or are you planning to? Let us know in the comments, and if you're finding this video eye-opening, don't forget to subscribe and tap the like button. We've got more real stories and deep dives coming your way. Number 8. Wolverhampton. Imagine building a life in a place that slowly stops working for you, not all at once, but bit by bit. That's the reality for many living in Wolverhampton. Once proud of its manufacturing legacy and hard-working spirit, this West Midlands city is now facing a crisis that's hard to ignore. Inflation has struck harder here than in many other parts of the UK. Essentials feel like luxuries. For a typical middle-class family, the maths just doesn't add up anymore. Wolverhampton has long been affordable, until it wasn't. As property prices and rent steadily climb, wages haven't caught up. That gap is pushing residents to breaking point. More and more families are choosing to leave, not because they want to, but because staying feels like a slow slide into struggle. The job market isn't helping either. While the city has made efforts to regenerate its economy, the opportunities often fall short of what educated, skilled workers are looking for. Young professionals especially feel stuck. Many finish university and immediately move elsewhere, draining the city of the very talent it needs to revive. And it's not just about economics. Wolverhampton's sense of optimism is fading. Crime is up, streets are tired. Public services feel overstretched and impersonal. You won't find mass protests or headlines shouting about it. But the signs are there. Quiet streets at rush hour, for sale signs lingering, and conversations behind closed doors about starting over somewhere new. Wolverhampton isn't collapsing, but it is shedding its people, slowly, quietly. Number 7. Coventry. Coventry was once a symbol of resilience. Bombed heavily during World War II, it rebuilt itself with pride, purpose, and a promise of progress. But now another battle is underway. Not with fire or rubble, but with economics and identity. For years, Coventry offered a more affordable alternative to nearby Birmingham. It was a sweet spot, close to major hubs, but with cheaper housing, quieter streets, and a sense of community. That balance is breaking. Gentrification has arrived, and not everyone is winning. New developments are rising, rent is spiking, coffee shops and apartment blocks are replacing local landmarks. While some welcome the change, many feel like they're being priced out of their own neighbourhoods. Coventry's housing market has seen double-digit growth in recent years, driven by investors and incoming professionals. But for long-time residents, especially middle-class families trying to maintain a modest lifestyle, the dream is slipping away. Private rents are outpacing income. Buying a home now feels like entering a race with no finish line. There's also a cultural shift. Schools are full, GP appointments take weeks, and traffic is choking once easy commutes. Talk about how different the city feels. More crowded, more expensive, and less familiar. Even younger residents are rethinking their future here. The local university is thriving, but many graduates leave straight after their caps hit the ground, carrying their ambitions elsewhere. Coventry hasn't fallen, but it's changing fast, and not everyone can keep up. In conversations at schools, workplaces, even over garden fences, you'll hear it. This isn't the city I grew up in. For many, it's no longer where they want to grow old either. The middle class isn't waiting to be priced out. They're leaving before they can't. Number 6. Stoke-on-Trent. There was a time when Stoke-on-Trent was world famous, its name stamped and shipped to every corner of the globe. The potteries were the pride of Britain's industrial heart. But now the factories are quiet, the kilns are cold, and the city is grappling with something far less tangible. Decline that feels almost invisible until you live in it. It's not dramatic. It's not in your face. But talk to residents and you'll hear the same story. The jobs are fewer, the wages lower, and the cost of living far higher than it used to be. Middle-class families are feeling it the most. They're not wealthy enough to ignore the rising costs and not poor enough to qualify for support. They're caught in the squeeze. In Stoke, even basic services are under pressure. Local bus routes have been slashed. Health services and the town centres, once vibrant with footfall, feel eerily underused. The high street hasn't just lost shops, it's lost energy. Crime rates, while not the highest in the UK, have crept up. Antisocial behaviour in certain neighbourhoods creates an atmosphere of tension, especially at night. For families, that's more than an inconvenience. It's a sign. A signal that maybe it's time to move on. And they are. Quietly, steadily, Stoke's middle class is slipping away. Some leave for the Midlands' bigger cities. Others look further afield, chasing affordability, safety, or just a fresh start. The truth? Stoke-on-Trent isn't collapsing. It's fading. And in some ways, that's more heartbreaking. Because it means the change is real, but slow enough that many won't notice until it's too late. Number 5. Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough doesn't make headlines often, but maybe it should. Because what's happening here isn't just a local issue, it's a warning for towns across Britain. Nestled in the northeast, Middlesbrough was once a proud steel town, a place where industry meant stability, and stability meant a future. But over the years, the steel faded, the jobs disappeared, and what's left is a city still next. And in that vacuum, the middle class is quietly vanishing. The numbers paint a stark picture. Middlesbrough consistently ranks among the most deprived areas in England. Child poverty rates are high. Life expectancy is below the national average. And job prospects? Limited, especially for skilled professionals looking for long-term growth. Those who can leave often do. Not because they don't love their hometown, but because they can't afford to stay. The opportunities just aren't here anymore. Middle-income earners, nurses, teachers, small business owners are being pulled away by the promise of better schools, safer streets, and a shot at upward mobility. Meanwhile, those who remain face daily challenges. Public transport is patchy. Town centres are dotted with shuttered shops. Community funding is scarce. The city feels like it's been left out of the national conversation, forgotten by the same institutions that once built it up. And here's the heartbreak. Middlesbrough has spirit. The people are proud. The sense of identity runs deep. But grit alone isn't enough to stop economic erosion. So the question, can a city hold on when those with the means to support it are walking away? In Middlesbrough, the lights are still on, but more and more windows are dark. Number 4. Sunderland. There's something haunting about decline when it wears a familiar face. Sunderland was once a city of shipbuilders, its docks echoing with industry and purpose. It stood tall, gritty, hard-working, proud. But in the decades since the yards fell silent, something else has settled in their place. Uncertainty. The city has made efforts to reinvent itself. Shopping centres, football pride, tech initiatives. But for many residents, especially the middle class, those efforts haven't changed the everyday reality. Wages are low, costs are climbing, and the sense of forward motion feels like it's stuck in first gear. The middle class here isn't vanishing in a dramatic exit. It's more like a slow erosion. Families gradually opting for the suburbs or entirely different cities where prospects feel more promising. In Sunderland, buying a house may be cheaper, but so are salaries. And with rising food and energy prices, the balance just isn't working anymore. There's also the issue of isolation. Despite being a coastal city with rich potential, Sunderland often feels overlooked, not quite part of the regional growth seen in nearby Newcastle. Public transport links are limited, investment is patchy, and the community mood, for many, feels stagnant. Schools, too, are uneven. While some shine, others struggle. For middle-income families trying to give their children a future, it's a gamble they're less willing to take. And so, one by one, families pack up. Not with fanfare, but with fatigue. The quiet departure of people who wanted to stay, but no longer can. In Sunderland, the view is still beautiful, but it's not enough to keep the heart of the city from slowly drifting out to sea. Bradford. Bradford is a city of contrasts, rich in history, culture, and diversity, but also home to some of the most troubling economic divides in the country. Walk through Bradford, and you'll see potential everywhere. Victorian architecture, passionate communities, green space tucked between red brick terraces. But for all its beauty, the city is losing its middle class, and the reasons run deep. At the core is opportunity, or rather the lack of it. While Bradford is brimming with young people and talent, job prospects are limited. Professional roles are scarce, and salaries often fall below the national average. For many educated residents, staying here means trading ambition. And then there's the cost of simply existing. Despite being affordable on paper, Bradford's poverty levels are among the highest in England. Energy bills are crushing, public transport is unreliable, and support services, from education to healthcare, are stretched to their limits. Families who once thrived here now face a difficult choice: endure the stagnation or leave in search of progress. It's no coincidence that Bradford's best and brightest often relocate. Graduates leave for Leeds or Manchester. Young professionals find more opportunity elsewhere. Middle-income families, those who keep a city balanced, are increasingly feeling out of place. And what remains? A city filled with potential, yes, but weighed down by inequality, disinvestment, and a growing sense of being forgotten. Bradford isn't dying. It's still full of energy, creativity, and hope. But those qualities are being overshadowed by structural neglect. And unless change comes soon, the quiet departure of the middle class may become a roar. Because when opportunity dries up, people don't wait around. They pack up, look ahead, and leave the past behind. Hull. Hull knows struggle. It's worn it like a second skin for decades, weathering economic blows, social shifts, and the long shadow of underinvestment. But now a different kind of change is taking hold, one that's not loud or visible, but slow and steady, the quiet retreat of the middle class. At first glance, Hull still holds on to its identity. It's a port city with grit. It has resilience. It has roots. But behind that toughness lies a reality that's harder to shake. The city is falling behind. Employment here is fragile. Many jobs are low-paid, insecure, or short-term. The digital revolution and service economy haven't landed in Hull the same way they have elsewhere. And while housing, it comes with a catch: low wages, limited growth, and public services that can no longer keep up. The middle class doesn't need drama to leave. They just need enough reasons. And Hull is giving them plenty. Schools are uneven. Healthcare waits are long. Infrastructure feels neglected. And while regeneration projects exist, they often feel disconnected from everyday life. There's also a creeping sense of being cut off. From the national conversation, from investment, even from aspiration. Residents speak of ambition going elsewhere, of people growing up and then growing out of Hull. And so professionals move to York, Leeds, or further south. Young counties. Retirees seek safer, quieter towns. Hull isn't emptying overnight, but the shift is unmistakable. It's the sense that those with options are using them, and those left behind are asked to hold on, with less and less. The lights are still on in Hull, but fewer people are home. Number 1. Blackpool. Blackpool, a name once synonymous with joy, escape, and seaside magic. Generations of Britons remember it fondly. Donkey rides, arcades, fish and chips on the promenade. But today, Blackpool holds a much darker distinction. It's the UK's most abandoned city by the numbers are stark. Blackpool has one of the highest levels of deprivation in the country. Life expectancy here is lower than anywhere else in England. Child poverty is widespread, mental health challenges are off the charts, and yet, for all the alarm bells, the slide continues. What's pushing people out isn't just economic strain, it's what that strain has done to the fabric of the city. Entire streets of B&Bs sit empty. The once bustling town centre is dotted with pawn shops and shuttered storefronts. Locals describe it not as a decline, but a decay. Families that once made memories here now struggle to make ends meet. Public services are overwhelmed. Schools are underperforming. Crime has become a real concern, particularly for families trying to raise children in a safe, supportive environment. The market, though cheap, tells its own story. Investors buy up properties for short-term lets or benefit housing, but long-term residents, they're packing their bags. Many head inland to nearby Lancashire towns, or leave the region entirely. What's most tragic is that Blackpool still shines in moments. The sea is still there, the tower still stands, but the spark that once made it a symbol of British leisure has dimmed. Blackpool hasn't been forgotten, it's just been left behind, and for the middle class clinging to quality of life and a sense of future, it's become impossible to stay. This isn't just a town in decline, it's a warning. Just cities, their stories, of families, futures and fading hope. Which of these places surprised you most? Or are you one of the people who left? Drop your story in the comments, we read every single one. If you found this eye-opening, check out our last video on the UK's rising cost of living crisis. It's deeply connected. And if you believe content like this, support us with just one click. Subscribe, it means the world to us.